Exactly 1 year ago today, on June 10th, 2017, I ran a 5K in 31 minutes and 2 seconds. Yesterday on June 9th, 2018, I ran the same 5K, the same exact course, in 25 minutes and 10 seconds. I went from 10:01 per mile to 8:07 per mile in 12 months. 52 weeks, 365 days, 8,760 hours. In this video, I'll share my story, how I did it, and how you can too. It all started technically 2 years ago. I joined my middle school's cross-country and track team, but I was never super serious about running. I mainly joined track to chat with my friends. By the end of 8th grade cross-country, I had a 7:56 mile. Fast forward a few months, and I decided to join the high school's cross-country summer camp. As a sort of beginning of the summer time trial, I decided to sign up for a 5K. Just a few weeks earlier, I ran 3 miles at a 9-minute pace for practice, so I was expecting faster than 9-minute pace for the actual race. I started off the 5K way too fast, so I was completely depleted of energy. I felt like giving up. I almost resorted to walking. I thought, the least I can do is at least jog the whole darn race. And the result of that drudgery was a 31-minute 5K. At the end, I thought I would faint, I was so tired. Needless to say, I was very disappointed with my time, but I had honestly put forth my best effort. Once cross-country camp started, 7 to 8:30 a.m. in the summer, by the way, I was running about 8 miles per week. 3 miles plus 3 miles plus 2 miles. I had no idea we were supposed to run the other 3 days of the week outside of camp. My mile time at the beginning of last year's summer was 8:59. But I kept training. I kept running 3 or 4 times a week, and I actually started enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, waking up at 6 a.m. in the summer will never be fun and will always be a struggle. But I kept on running those mornings, and I would feel great the whole day afterward, which is also one of my favorite benefits of running. After the 10 weeks of summer had passed, it was time for the actual cross-country season to start. I'll be honest, I was scared. I definitely thought I would have been one of the slowest people on the team, even though my times weren't that horrible. The cross-country season proved to be a lot of work. I remember showing up to practice and seeing a whopping 5-mile run on that day's agenda. To put that into perspective, the average run I've done this summer is over 5 miles. During our first 3-mile time trial on August 26, 2017, I ran 28:54, a 9:38 pace. Not bad for just the beginning, but also not great considering I had the whole summer to train. I would estimate for the cross-country season I was running less than 20 miles per week. It wasn't a lot of mileage in retrospect, but it was a lot more mileage than I was used to. Throughout the whole cross-country season, I was running races at around 8:40 or 8:30 pace, which was super fast to me, and I was definitely proud of them. I ended the very last cross-country race with a huge PR out of nowhere. My final time, my very best 3-mile time to this date, was 23:26, a 7:49 pace. Once the season ended, I still kept running a little bit. My training just consisted of 6-mile long runs once per week. But after about a month, I just stopped running altogether. It was cold out in the winter, you can't blame me too much. I also ran the Chicago Hot Chocolate 5K. It's exactly what it sounds like. You finish and get a giant mug of hot chocolate fondue and a bunch of marshmallows and treats to dip in it. On October 29th, 2017, with a time of 26:21 and 8:29 pace. I definitely could have run a lot faster, but there were 40,000 other runners. I'm not kidding. And half the time I literally couldn't move. I was always either walking or sprinting. Still, not a bad race. And for this year, I'm thinking about running the 15K race there, which is 9.3 miles. It'll definitely be a challenge. 2 months later, track started. On the 3rd day of track, January 25th, after a winter of laying in bed, I ran a 7:40 mile during the time trial. I was very shocked by this time, in a good way. I was honestly expecting an 8:30. Track did start out rough though, and I had the regret of not running enough over the winter. I promise I'll run more this winter, except that's also what I said last winter. Throughout the track season, I'd say I was running an average of 25 or less miles per week. brief overview of my track season times, and I mean very brief. My 800 meter record was 3:17, not very good. First mile I ever ran was in 7:02, didn't quite break 7 minutes. Then I ran the 2 mile at conference meet just for the heck of it. My coach actually told me that it was the first time anyone had actually asked to do the 2 mile, and I'm not really sure if that's a good or bad thing. I ran in 15:56, a 7:58 pace per mile, which I was not very happy with, but hey, you win some, you lose some. I ended the track season on May 7th with a 6:52 mile. Awesome way to end the season with breaking my biggest goal, running a sub 7 minute mile. And now that brings us to today, well, this summer. So far, I'd estimate I've run about 70 miles total. The shortest run I've been on is 4 miles, and that was one time just because my hip hurt. This summer, I've got big plans. My goal for the cross-country season, and I'm putting this out there, is to be in the top 5 runners of JV. Varsity would be cool, but I'm thinking junior year would be more realistic for varsity. Anyways, back to the whole point of this video, my 6-minute 5K improvement in 1 year. I purposely signed up for the exact same 5K this year to see how much I've improved by running almost every day for 5 months because of track. My goal coming into it was around 25 minutes, and I hit that right on the head with a time of 25:10, an 8:07 pace. I kinda wanted to have a sub 8 minute pace, but I'm still happy with my time. I even scored second place for females 14 and under. After the end of yesterday's 5K, I didn't feel anywhere near as tired or like I was about to faint as last year. I still pushed myself pretty hard though. Guys, the whole point of me making this video about my 1 year running journey is not to brag or show off my times. It's to tell a story and inspire people who are just like me a year ago. If you're out there and you hate running, it's pretty relatable, I know. Then just know, with a year's worth of work, you can be down to a sub 7 minute mile and running 5Ks in an 8 minute pace. You just have to put in the work. Oh yeah, and running is obviously the best sport. I'll see you guys on Tuesday or Friday for a bonus upload.